Hey everybody, it's that time of the week again. Let's talk about episode 8 of Teen Wolf season 6, Blitzkrieg. After watching this episode in its entirety, I was just left really concerned. Really concerned. Now, all of you definitely know why I feel this way at this moment, because 5 more people were taken. 5 more people were taken and erased. And I don't even know what the hell, how they are going to bring everyone back. The plan at the beginning of the episode that Scott had in his head was that he was going to turn Styles to bring him back. Well, he can't turn everyone. And the other thing that has me concerned about that plan is that Styles might not survive the bite. We do not know if he will survive the bite. They could very well kill off Styles in the process of bringing him back. And I honestly don't want to see him as a werewolf. I just want him human. His humanity is the heart of this show. I feel like it keeps all of the characters grounded, and it's just that, it's essential. It's essential to this show, to the entire pack, to all the characters, that Styles stays human. Now, while Styles wasn't actually in this episode, there was so much that happened and was revealed about Styles in this episode. Before I get to that though, let's talk about his dad, Sheriff Stilinski. At the beginning of the episode, he goes into Styles' room. He finds Styles' roll of red yarn and he starts to pin it all over Styles' room. And as he keeps doing this, Styles' room reappears and these memories re-enter his mind, and it was beautifully done. I really enjoyed that scene. Once again, I have to say, I am so happy that we are getting so much focus on the parents in this final season. I have always loved these characters, and it's just adding so much more depth to them. After all of Styles' belongings reappear in his room, we see Sheriff Stilinski find a photo of Styles and Claudia. And it's when she was in the hospital. It was on her last good day before she died. And right after that, Claudia shows up in the room, and there's just this really emotional scene where she says she can't see anything. There's nothing in the room. He looks around. Everything has disappeared once again. But then he looks over at her and he starts talking to her and says he doesn't remember their last anniversary. And it just gets really emotional. This entire scene just like was a knife to the chest. I feel so bad for Styles' dad right now. It's just, poor thing. Because at the end of this little scene where Claudia is insisting that she got better, he insists that she's gone, and then she's gone. She disappears. And he just breaks down. And can we just stop hurting him? I mean, throughout the series, he's been hurt constantly, and I just want to give him a hug. Okay, I'm going to get back to Styles and what was revealed about him in this episode at the end of this, but first, let's talk about what all went down, because it was crazy. Scott, Lydia, and Malia throughout the episode are trying to figure out how to get through the rift without being taken by the Ghost Riders. They want to get through the rift. They want to cheat their way in and get Styles out, and it does not go according to plan. Now, I'm going to come back to them in just a moment, but first, another thing that we have going on throughout this episode is that Liam, Hayden, and Mason are trying to deal with Theo and to find more about Mr. Garrett Douglas and what he's up to, because it's not good. It's not good. And Theo knows everything because he was in with the Dread Doctors, and yeah. Theo agrees to tell all of them about Mr. Douglas, but the only way he will do it is if Liam breaks Kira's sword. So he does. And they find out that Mr. Douglas was a Nazi and he wanted to take over the Wild Hunt. That is basically all of it summed up. And after he lost all of his little army of crazy people, he got captured by the Dread Doctors. Something else we find out about Mr. Douglas when Theo is telling all of them about him is that he is a Lowenmensch. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that properly, but He's a hybrid of both a werewolf and a were-lion. Basically, in the process of the Dread Doctors getting Mr. Douglas into that vat of green liquid, they drugged him up, and his struggle when being put in there and something going wrong and what he was, all of it, it somehow, along with the fact that he was in there for so long, made him extra powerful, just as powerful as a Ghost Rider, in fact, and an Alpha, and just, yeah, pretty much unstoppable. So there is that, and he can control a Hellhound. And that's what I'm going to get to right now. In this episode, Mr. Douglas is looking for Parrish because he wants to use him. So he finds Melissa McCall and Mr. Argent because apparently that's where his scent ended and they know where he is. Well, after threatening both of them, Melissa decides to give in and go ahead and bring him to Parrish. Well, that ended very badly. When she brings him to Parrish, Parrish is in that freezer. You know, that freezer thing that yeah. Apparently he likes to sleep in there. I don't know why he continues to go in there. Maybe that's the way that he's able to keep control of his Hellhound side or keep it balanced or whatever. But anyways, when Mr. Douglas gets there, he's about to dispose of Melissa McCall. Argent shows up and this is when I get really upset. I got really upset. Now, one thing that I noticed in all of the scenes with Melissa and Argent is that something seems to be going on between them two. I really see something starting to spark there. And he sacrifices himself for Melissa, but it's all for naught because Mr. Douglas goes and erases both of them. He has that whip and yeah. So that's 2 down. Now back to Theo and all of them. Well, while everything is going on between all of them, the Ghost Riders show up, Mason gets erased, and Hayden gets erased. So, yeah. At this point, my brain is just saying, what the hell? What are they going to do now? And then we get to the final scene, and I just about lose it. Because in this final scene, Mr. Douglas shows up with Parrish, and Parrish opens up the rift, and then he and Mr. Douglas leave all of them behind. And then the Ghost Riders show up. And then shit gets real. Then Peter shows up and sacrifices himself for Malia. And he has another awesome dad moment. And it's left me with the thought that because they're giving us all of these awesome Peter moments, these very redeeming moments, that they're going to kill him at the end of this season. I have a really bad feeling about this. But at the end of the episode, I tallied it up, and we have 5 more characters that have been erased. It's not good. At the end of the episode, we get the biggest wow moment of, I think, perhaps the entire series. Because we finally find out Styles' real name. And I think the fact that it came out of nowhere, we didn't expect it to happen right then, and that all of a sudden, Mr. Stilinski just says Styles' name, just like that. He goes to see Scott in the pack, what's left of the pack, I should say, and he says, I had a son, his name was Mieczyslaw Stilinski, and I just about lost it. No, I didn't just about lose it, I lost it. We finally know Styles' name, and I don't even know what to do with myself now. It has been revealed. That's just what shows you. This show is coming to an end, and I don't want it to end. I really don't want it to end, but I understand. I fully understand that it's time. I'm just really scared to see how it ends. We are just about at the halfway point of the season, which means there are only 12 episodes left of Teen Wolf. Only 12. That is it. And then it's over. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and comment and let me know what you thought about the episode. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.